Have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on behind the screen of your favorite app? I mean, it's way more than just lines of code. It's a whole series of really high-stakes decisions. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on those critical choices that, honestly, keep our digital world from completely falling apart.
You know that feeling, right? We've all been there. You're right in the middle of buying something, or you're streaming that big season finale, and bam, it crashes. But here's the thing, that isn't just some random glitch. For an engineering manager, that's the exact moment a critical decision failed a test, with the reliability of the entire system hanging in the balance.
And this quote it nails it. The smooth, seamless tech that we all rely on every single day, it's not an accident. Not even close. It is the direct result of tough, calculated choices made by people who are on the hook for every single outcome. So let's actually go behind that glitch. Let's peel back the layers. Because for every one of those frustrating technical problems, there's a structured process designed not just to fix it, but to make sure it never, ever happens again. At the very heart of it all is this idea, decision-making. And look, it's not just about, picking option A or option B. It's this really amazing process that blends the hard science of data with the art of human judgment, especially when things get murky and there's no obvious right answer. So how do they actually pull it off? I mean, are they just winging it? No way. Engineers and their managers rely on a universal framework, almost like a blueprint for making solid, justifiable decisions, especially when the pressure is on.
And here it is. This is the 6-step blueprint that turns total chaos into crystal clarity. It's a logical journey, right? You start by figuring out what the problem is, then you gather the data, you cook up some alternatives, you test them out, and finally, you pick the best one and you watch it like a hawk. This is the roadmap for basically every great engineering decision.
Okay, theory is great, but let's make this real. Let's see the blueprint in action. Imagine a tech company is just getting hammered with network lag and their servers keep crashing. How do they fix it? Well, they don't panic. They follow the blueprint. First things first, they have to diagnose the problem. So for step 1, they get super specific. The problem is high latency and it's happening during peak hours. Then step 2, they go on a hunt for evidence. They are not guessing here. They're digging through network logs, checking CPU stats, and even reading user feedback to find exactly where the bottlenecks are. All right, now that they know what's wrong, it's time to brainstorm and analyze. For step 3, they come up with a few different paths. Should they try to optimize the servers they already have? Should they just buy better hardware? Or should they move to a hybrid cloud setup? Then, for step 4, each of those options gets put under a microscope. They run cost-benefit analyses, they run performance simulations. They basically battle test each idea to see which one holds up. And finally, it's time for action and assessment. For step 5, after all that analysis, they choose the hybrid cloud option. It gives them the best balance of performance and cost. But, and this is a really big but, the job isn't done. Step 6 is absolutely crucial. They are constantly monitoring things like uptime and latency on performance dashboards to make 100% sure the decision actually paid off. Okay, so we've seen the what, that's the process, but now let's talk about the how. I'm talking about the 2 fundamental ways of thinking that really fuel these decisions. And, it almost always comes down to this classic battle, gut feelings versus cold, hard data. Think of it like 2 sides of the same coin. On one side, you've got the qualitative approach. This is all about experience, intuition. You could call it the art of management. And on the other side, you've got the quantitative approach, which is all about mathematical models and measurable data, the science of it. The truly great managers, they don't just pick one, they know how to blend both. So let's dive a little deeper into that science side. Let's open up that quantitative toolbox, because inside are some seriously powerful instruments that managers use to make incredibly precise, evidence-based decisions. And we're not talking about some dusty, abstract theories here. These are practical, hands-on models that take a huge, messy pile of raw data and transform it into clear, decisive action. It's all about taking the guesswork out of the equation and replacing it with something close to statistical certainty. Now this is where it gets really cool, because look how specific these tools are. You've got queuing theory, which is literally the math of waiting in line, and they use it to perfectly balance server requests so your app feels instantaneous. Or how about forecasting? That's used to predict traffic growth, so a company can add more power before you ever experience a crash. It's all about being one step ahead. And honestly, one of the most powerful tools in the entire kit has to be simulation. Just think of it like a digital test drive for a new idea. It lets managers build a virtual copy of their entire network and then just throw the worst case scenarios at it, all to find and fix problems before they ever affect a single real user. You get to see the future without any of the real world risk. How cool is that? So, when you put this all together, this discipline process, these powerful tools, the most important takeaway is that this isn't just about making engineers' lives easier. This whole system creates real, tangible progress that actually benefits every single one of us. And this is why it all matters so much. This structured way of thinking dramatically reduces the risk of those huge, costly failures. It makes sure resources are being used in the smartest way possible. It gives teams a safe space to test out bold, innovative new ideas. And it makes every big decision totally transparent and accountable. It's truly the foundation of the reliable technology we all depend on. So that leaves us with one final thought. This 6-step blueprint, it isn't just for multi-million-dollar tech companies. It's actually a really powerful mental model for bringing clarity to complex situations. So I'll leave you with this question. What's one decision in your own life, big or small, that you think you can improve just by applying this same simple, structured process?